Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy One-on-One. So I really wanted to break this down because I know there's a lot of controversy out there dealing with Ice Cube's contract with Black America. And the correlation that I would like to put together, or the analogy rather, is comparing $1 to $100. Now, most of us have a dollar, but believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, most of us don't have $100. And the suckers who have a dollar are you and I, the ones who continue to give away our dollars to both political parties. But I don't want to get into my own rhetoric to the point where I'm just ranting. But what I do want to get into is slightly overviewing all three plans for quote unquote Black America. What Biden and Harris had presented, what Donald Trump had presented, him and Mike Pence, and as well as the contract with Black America from Ice Cube. Now, I don't want to lean one way or another, even though I'm already biased, as you already know. But nonetheless, I'm going to go in here with a clear head and a clear mind. And we're just going to view it for ourselves and see where we come at. How does that sound? Let me pull this up just a little bit here. But let's see where we get at with this. Let's just look it over. So this particular bold ideas is from Biden and Harris. You can see here, this is at joebiden.com. And I don't want to bore you with semantics, but let's get into anything that kind of rings the bell of the agenda that can make applicable to ourselves. So we have Build Back Better Racial Equity Across American Economy. I wonder, is that for foundational Black Americans? So let's read some of the headlines. We won't get into the vivid details of it, but let's see who is he actually talking to? Okay, I don't really see anything here. It says specifically Biden will support public-private investment through a small business opportunity plan, achieve equity in management, training, and higher education, connected to the jobs of the future, boost retirement security and financial wealth for Black and Brown. Okay, so we get the word Black and Brown. So there's nothing exclusively for Black people so far. Okay, and that's only one part of it. I'm seeing that I'm having some technical difficulties. Let me see if I can fix this. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to fix this up for you guys. See that I'm having a couple of issues. Let me see if I can fix this. All right, I looked that I'm up. All right. So as we're looking through this plan, this is from Joe Biden and Harris, okay? And I'm looking for something that speaks to specifically to Black people. And please stay with me, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to see once again how everybody else gets their own agenda, okay? Now, some of you are probably saying, well, you know, he gave us that lift every voice agenda that really panders to Black people. Church-going Black people would lift every voice off the lift every voice and sing. How disrespectful. Let's get into it. Spur more than $50 billion additional public-private venture capital to Black and Brown. Again, nothing specifically for Black people. The American descendant of slaves and foundational Black Americans. Okay. Collectively, Biden will leverage more than $150 billion in new capital and opportunities for small businesses that have been structurally excluded for generations. So that includes everybody until he puts in Black and Brown. So again, our reparations, our tangibles are being dispersed, and we understand that Hispanics outnumber us about 3 to 4%. Okay, they're around 16 to 17% of the population, and we're only around 13%, and they're still growing. Okay, they're getting naturalized. That's because some people like to believe there is a democratic agenda to make a lot of illegal immigrants that come over here and support the Democratic Party to naturalize them in order for them to be U.S. citizens. So the black vote becomes very nonchalant. Okay, it becomes a nothing bag. Let's get back into it, though. We're going over it very briefly. Dramatically increase the availability of venture capital investment for small businesses, especially those owned by Black and brown people. Again, nothing specifically for us. Again, Black and brown people. If we keep looking, wait a minute. We might have something here, ladies and gentlemen. A recent Secret Shopper study by the National Computer Reinvestment Coalition found that when Black small businesses applicants contacted the bank, nearly half the time they were giving inferior treatment to white applicants with nearly identical credit histories and business proposals. So what is their proposal? Oh, Black and Latino and Native American entrepreneurs. Okay, so nothing there. Even though you know the disparities against for lending in the Black community. Okay, but again, it's everybody. Now, and I can keep going on and on, ladies and gentlemen, and the only thing you're going to see is Black and brown all over the board. So no, Joe Biden is not offering us anything for our vote. Let me go back. There's another piece of the pie that we need to probably go over, okay? So some of you are going to say, and I'm going to get there. Let's look it over. So we're looking at all the tangibles. We're trying to look for tangibles for foundational Black Americans. We're scanning his page. We're looking for, we got reform for bankruptcy. This is for everybody. Lift every voice, the Biden plan for Black America. It must include us. It must only include solely us. I'm just saying. Now, I wonder, we understand the word African American can mean a lot of things. Now, when you say foundational Black Americans, those people, their ancestors, their mothers and fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers down the lineage are foundational to America, meaning that they arrived as enslaved Africans off the boat. But did you know that African American can essentially mean anyone, whether they came from Nigeria, South Africa, Ethiopia, and they came here and they naturalized and became a U.S. citizen? Don't you know they're African American? I'm not playing on the words. I'm just telling you the truth. You never probably looked at it like that way. You probably thought when someone say African American that they're actually foundational Black Americans. But again, you have to understand the verbiage. So again, this could be a very gray area that, again, anything that's tangible in this plan for Black America, because my thing is you put Black America here, but you put African American here. But let's move on. Let's just squander our way through here. Let's see here. Rebuilding, president, blah, blah, blah. What else do we have here? African Americans. Okay, we can play it down with that. African Americans are down from COVID-19 at higher rates than whites. Okay, cool. What else do we got? African Americans again. But again, we could be playing on words, but nonetheless, I'm gonna continue. It says African American small businesses have been hitting hard. Over 90% of African American owned businesses are estimated to be shut out of the initial relief program due to pre-existing systematic disparities in lending. Okay, so we have African Americans all over the board. African Americans. So again, we're explaining. We're not talking about tangibles yet. We're not talking about access or opportunity. We are discussing the problem. This is on Joe Biden's page, okay? And I'm gonna go through Donald Trump and I'm gonna go through the contract with Black America. But I'm not gonna rush, but I'm not gonna be a long time. Just stay with me. I want to break this down because when we start talking about tangibles, I want to see the verbiage. I want to understand the words. So he says, today we need a comprehensive agenda for African Americans with ambition that matches the scale of the challenge, and with recognition of race-neutral policies, not Black-neutral policies, are not sufficient in response to race-based disparities. Okay, I want you to start looking at the words here. The Biden plan for Black America. Advance the economic mobility of African American and close the racial wealth and income gaps. How? You're saying advance the economic mobility. How you're going to do that? As you're going to see, if I go to other people's plan, they got enough web page room. How are you going to do that? What are you going to give us to decrease the wealth gap? That's the question. Expand access to high quality education and tackle racial inequality in our education system. Okay, once again, you're telling us what you are supposedly going to do. How does that equate into tangibles? And again, how are you going to do it? Make far-reaching investments in ending health disparities by race. A nothing burger. Again, strengthen Americans' commitment to justice. What does that mean? Strengthen Americans' commitment to justice. Does that mean you're going to punish the police who racially profile and beat and kill and torture Black Americans in the streets? Is that what does that make far-reaching investment in ending? Strengthen America's commitment to justice. What does that mean? How are you going to do that? What policies, laws, and regulations are you going to put in place to strengthen America's commitment to justice? I'm just asking a question. I want you to make the decision for yourself. Make the right to vote and the right to equal protection real for African Americans. We can vote. What is he? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If African Americans, aka foundational Black Americans, wanted to vote, we could and we will. We did it for Obama for 2 years, for 2 terms straight. We will find a way to vote. So I'm not even worried about this. Some of this is nothing. This is a nothing bag. Address environmental justice. Once again, I have no idea what the fuck that means. Excuse my language. Advance the economic mobility of African Americans and close the racial wealth and income gaps. Okay. It says African Americans, 13% of the population. Again, we're discussing the problem. I don't see any tangibles. Here we go. Ensuring equal access to credit and capital. African American business often lack the capital they need to succeed. African American business are rejected at a rate. Okay, we're explaining the problem again. Nearly 20% higher than the white-owned firms. Even worse, African American businesses that do get funding receive only 40% of the funds requested, as compared to 70% of white business to increase investment and access to capital. Biden will. Okay. Double funding for the state small business credit initiative. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Give me a second. I want to make sure that I don't go blank on you guys. Give me a second here. Just give me a second. I'm checking, make sure I don't go blank on you guys. This is very important, okay? Because I'm looking at here ensuring access to credit and capital, and he explains the problem, and the only verbiage that is used is African American. Okay, we got African American here. We got African American businesses here. We have African American businesses here. So he's staying on code. African American, boom. African American, boom. African American. Then Biden will double funding for the state small business credit initiative, not double funding for African American small business credit initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm referring to when it comes to tangibles. The Biden administration created this, the Obama-Biden administration created the Small Business Credit Initiative to support small businesses, driving $10 billion in new lending for each $1 billion in SSBCI funds. Biden will extend the program through 2025. So there's a program out there for state small businesses through 2025, and it doubles funding to $3 billion, during driving costs to $30 billion of private sector investments to small businesses, especially those owned by women and people of color. Where did African American go? Where did African American go? Where did Black America go? This is the Black American plan, correct? Didn't he say that? I don't want to scroll back up. I don't want to lose my place. Let me go back up though, because I need to see this. Lift every voice. The Biden plan for Black America. Okay, Black America. We're talking about African American. But then we started getting to tangibles, how he's going to extend this plan that was created by the Obama administration and the Biden administration. But when we start talking about giving us something, okay, access to capital for businesses, now we're talking about women and people of color. Now, who do you think you're talking about when you say women? He's talking about white women. They count white women as a minority because, listen, if this is a plan for Black America, I don't need to say women. I don't need to see people of color. All through the first paragraph, Joe Biden, I see African American here. You are explaining a problem that's plaguing African American communities. Okay, you're telling me African American businesses often lack the capital they need to succeed. Check. African American businesses are rejected at a rate nearly 20% higher than that of white-owned firms. Check. Even worse, African American businesses that do get funded receive only 40% of their funds requested as compared to 70% for white businesses. Check. Then, to increase investment and access to capital, Biden will is a verb, meaning somebody will do something. Double funding for state small business credit initiative. Wait a minute, what happened to African American? Okay, then we go down here. Driving close to $30 billion of private sector investment to small businesses, especially, let's highlight it, owned by women and people of color. People of color include Hispanic, Asian, Indian, white women, minorities, not African American. I'm so confused. Let's move on. Expand the new markets tax credit, make the program permanent, and double community development financial institutions. That's a nothing burger. That's a nothing bag. There's nothing to chew on there. No tangibles. Okay, here we go. Improve and expand the small business administration programs that mostly effectively support African American owned businesses. Okay, so what are you going to do? The small business administration programs have remain one of the most effective ways of accessing capital for African American owned businesses. Biden will strengthen these existing programs by ensuring the SBA has the funding it needs to support African owned businesses and others. Oh, once again, people of color, minorities. And what do you say by others? Others include everybody else. I thought this was a lift every voice plan for Black America. But why do I keep seeing people of color, women, and we understand that there's Black women, right? So when you say Black America, that includes women, right? So you know he's not talking about Black women. So we have to really deconstruct this thing on a very intellectual level. So that means when he says African American owned businesses and he talks about other people, then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He's not talking about African American foundational Black American people. He's talking about other people. Things that make you go, It's all in the plan right on the webpage. I'm just reading it. Let's go. Here we go again. Increase opportunities for African American owned businesses to obtain or participate in federal contracts. Okay, fair play. I like this. So let's read this. Let's read a little bit about this. It says the Biden-Obama administration increased federal prime contract. I'm right here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me blow this up. You guys probably can't see this as well as I can. Let me make sure you see this. It's kind of big on my side. Where was I? Was this it? This was it. I want to make sure you guys see this. It says here, federal prime from $30.6 billion to $39.1 billion. The Obama-Biden administration also created an interagency task force on federal contracting opportunities for small business, yada, yada, yada. Then it comes down and it says the Federal Procurement Center, as part of the Commerce Department Minority Business Development Agency, okay, the FPC, first kind, helps minority-owned firms apply for and win federal government contracts. As President Biden will build on these efforts to support the expansive opportunities, minority-owned businesses. Well, this is the Lift Every Voice plan for Black America. Why we keep saying minorities? You know what? Don't this make you want to do a Google search? Let's just do a Google search. Who are minorities in America? That's just, I mean, we might not know. Maybe is this another keyword for Black people? But let's see. I mean, he keeps saying minorities. He keeps saying. Let's read about it. It says blah 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 blah. It says right here the minority population is comprised of. I want to highlight it for you guys. It's comprised of nearly as many Hispanics, Blacks, and Asians. Then they also say American Indian population. Okay, look at this. So wait a minute. So minorities is not just Black people. Hold up. So it's Blacks, Hispanics, Asians, American Indians. I thought they got their reparations, but who am I? But it's not just African Americans. But when I go back here, the name of this plan from Biden is the Lift Every Voice, pandering to Black America, because we know the Black national anthem, lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. No, there ain't nothing ringing on this particular bill, is it? It is not, ladies and gentlemen, because again, every time Joe Biden talks about tangibles, he talks about minority, people of color, and women. Black American includes women. Let me move on. Increase funding for, again, minority businesses. Minority businesses. And ladies and gentlemen, if you already didn't know this, Hispanics outnumber us about 3 to 4% in this country. So who do you think gonna get majority of this business? Now, when you go to certain neighborhoods, let me break it down for you. We don't even need to go and Google search this. I just want you to use your brain on this one. I want you to use your brain on this one. When you go to different neighborhoods, do you ever see that many Black businesses? But if you drive around your city, there's a sector, there's a section, there's a portion where majority of the businesses are Hispanic. I wonder where they get the funding from. Oh, increased funding for minority businesses development agency budget. Well, gosh be Gwillikers. I didn't even know this. Wow. This is what I'm talking about. Let's read on. Protect small and disadvantaged businesses from federal and state contract building, which often locks out African-American owned smaller firms for effective bidding or procurement contracts. Okay, that's cool. Biden will build on the anti-building provision of the Small Business Jobs Act of 2010 that did not include Black people by themselves. Okay, no tangibles, no tangibles, no tangibles. So I don't want to beat that particular one up because that was the Lift Every Voice, the contract. Look, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Biden plan for Black America. But the only thing you saw was people of color. The only thing you saw was women. The only thing you saw was minority. That includes everybody else except African American. He explained the issues that African Americans go through. But when it came down to the tangible part and access to capital, we saw the word minority and people of color over and over and over again. Now, when we talked about earlier, okay, racial equity across American economy, that was for Black and brown people, okay? So again, Black Americans, we have nothing solely for ourselves, do we? Do we? No, we do not. Okay. So you're saying, well, he got to do something for all Americans. He's America's president. That's what some of you say. See, I don't jump on any bandwagon, but let's see. Let's see if we can search through his policies to see if he specifically gives anything to anybody else. Let's see. Immigration. Okay, so undocumented immigrants are going to get theirs. Okay, veterans. Okay, cool. Veterans need theirs. People for guns, women rights. Okay, I agree with all this. Okay, healthcare, but I see nothing for my people to lessen this wealth gap that everybody knows about. But I'm gonna continue on. LGBT, that's a sexuality thing. They're going to get theirs. Okay, nothing for Black America yet, because we just went through the Lift Every Voice plan, and we see nothing for Black Americans. Now, Jermaine down the street, we just went through the plan. You probably miss it. Rewind the video. You'll see what I'm talking about, brother. There's nothing in there for us solely. Oh, well, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Joe Biden's agenda for the Catholic community. Who does that include? Majority white people and Hispanic people. Most Hispanic people are Catholic. Okay, so whites and Hispanics again. So the equality plan, Black people and Hispanics. The Lift Every Voice plan, minorities, because it wasn't for us. Okay, just put our little tag on it to appease us, to pander to us. But now when I look at, wait a minute, Joe Biden's agenda for the Jewish community. Oh, so the Jews get their own. Okay, I'm not hating. They get their own. Muslims Americans get their own. Okay, the Indian American community get their own. I wonder who else get their own. Whoa, Joe Biden's agenda for Latino community, but you just added the agenda inside of Lift Every Voice plan with minorities and people of color. That includes them. The Racial Economic Equity Act. That includes them. But now they have their own. Oh. Let's see. I don't want to beat this up. I'm going to do a Control F. Everybody know that's fine. And there we go. We got the word minority 5 times in here. So he's going to spread the web through them too. Nice. Nice. Now, I want to say this because in our act, he had the word Latino. So let's look up the word Black. Let's see if we got the word Black in here. Invest over 70 billion in Hispanic serving institutions, other minority serving institutions, historical Black colleges. Wait a minute, where is this at? Is this in the Black plan? We're in the Latino agenda that would train our next generation of Latino professionals and other professions of color. Hispanic serving. Okay, let's talk about the tangibles. Let's see what the tangibles are. And let's see if he put Black people where he put minorities at. Let's see. We're talking about money. 10 billion. Nope. No tangibles for Black people. He put it in the title again, but no tangibles. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what you do. If you go through all these policies of Joe Biden, he panders and caters to every group. And the reason why this is important, that whether the Latino agenda, right here, the Latino agenda has the word Black in it or not, do you understand that in the Lift Every Voice plan, anytime we talk about giving access to capital or giving funding for small businesses, he has the word people of color and minority. That includes Latinos and Asians. When he goes to the Latino plan, they're doubling up, because guess what? We don't have an agenda for the Black community. Okay? We don't have an agenda because they're part of our Lift Every Voice plan, Hispanics and Asians and Native Americans. But then they come down and they have their own separate plan. Where's our separate plan apart from the Lift Every Voice? Because Lift Every Voice plan is not solely for Black Americans. Just read it. When he starts talking about tangibles, he goes into people of color. Okay. All right. So that's how the Democratic Party panders to Black people over and over and over again and gives us nothing. So let's go to Donald Trump. Let me blow this up. We know this kind of small. All right. We can all see it now. Jobs. Okay. So jobs for everybody. All right. Eradicate COVID-19. That's for everybody. End our reliance on China. That's for everybody. Healthcare. Everybody. Education. Everybody. Drain the swamp. Whatever the hell that means. Everybody. Defend our police. Now, I can go back. Because a lot of you, Trump is a white supremacist, he's a racist. Let me tell you, right now, Joe Biden and Donald Trump are in the same car. Donald Trump just driving. Because let me show you. Let me go back. Let me show you some of his policies here. Let me show you. because you guys may miss it. You guys may miss it. It's a little close for me. It's blown up. Let's see. Let's see what he's going to do for the police. Let's see. Everybody's helping out the police. No one's helping out justice for black people. Let me go through this. I don't want to speed past it. Okay. Government finance, education, gun, criminal justice reform. Nobody knows what that means because there's no criminal punishment reform. Okay. What else? What else do we have? Any LBG, community, Joe Biden agenda for students, tribal nations, Native Americans again. Then you got Indian Americans. See, when you say, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, when you say Indian American, who do you think he's talking about? Why would you have for tribal nations in the Indian Americans? Let's look into it. Because we know that Indian Americans are who? Are who? People from East Indies, not the West Indies, the East Indies, okay? So let's look into it. It says South Asian Americans. They have their own agenda with Joe Biden, but black Americans, we can't get anything. But let me do a control F. Let me see if they say the word black. Zero found on the word black. But he had the word black when it came with the Hispanics and the blacks, okay? That's how disrespectful the Democratic Party is to black people. They have their own agenda for the Indian Americans in this country, but not for us who are foundational black Americans. So not the word black. Maybe he has the word minority in here. Minority, no. Nope. No word minority. So you got the Indian Americans without the word minority inside their agenda. They do not have the word minority. Maybe they have people of color. Let me check one more. People of... No. The word black, the word minority, the word people of color is not in the East Indian American, those people from the country of India, inside of their agenda. Keep on voting Democrat. Because some of you are like, oh, you got to do something for all Americans. Well, he is, except for the black community. Yes, he is. You have a Latino community, an Indian American community, tribal nations with the Native Americans. Then you have the Muslims getting theirs. You have the Jewish getting theirs. Everybody, the Biden-Harris plan for recovery, renewal, and respect for Puerto Rico. Okay, everybody is getting theirs. Let me move on. Let's see. He said criminal justice reform. I wonder. I don't want to really go through his too many more. I'm just getting pissed off with his. Because you can just tell he panders to black people. He promises stuff. And a lot of you keep saying, well, he gotta reform. He got to lift every voice plan. He got to lift every voice plan. Let's see. I'm going to show you something, guys, something real quick so I can reach it really quickly. I don't want to stay here too long. People of color. Okay, this is the one I love right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one I love. I'm going to read it one more time for the viewers who just got here, and I'm going to move on. So I want you to pay close attention how he explains the issue that's plaguing Black America right here, right? And you're going to see the word African American over and over again. And this is with the Lift Every Voice plan. This is with the Lift Every Voice plan, the plan for Black America. He actually has that. The plan for Black America. Black America. African American businesses often lack the capital they need to succeed. True. African American businesses are rejected at a rate nearly 20% higher than the white-owned firms. True. Even worse, African American businesses that do get funding only receive 40% of their funds requested at compared to 70% for white businesses. True. To increase investment and access to capital, Biden will. This is what Biden will do. Okay, we get extending of the state, not African American, double funding for the African American small business, but we're just going to extend a regular state small business credit initiative that we did during the Obama era that didn't really help Black people at all. But then we start getting to Biden will extend the program through 2025 and double its funding and double its federal funding to $3 billion, driving close to $30 billion of private sector investment to small businesses all told, especially those owned by women and people of color. The name of this plan, ladies and gentlemen, is Lift Every Voice Plan for Black Americans. People of color, Indian Americans, Asian Americans, they're still considered Asian, I know. Hispanic Americans, Native Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, the proof is in the pudding. And it continues as I don't matter where I go, anytime he talks about giving somebody some money, the word minority or people of color pops up every single time. Let me move on. In illegal immigration, protect American workers. You know Trump. I don't even need to read his policies because he don't even pander to us. Like the platinum plan is solely different. I don't even want to go through the platinum plan. Okay, that's a nothing bag too. That's why he let me move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move on. It doesn't matter if it's Biden or Donald Trump. They're offering the Black community nothing at all, even though they pander to us by using the word platinum. You know, them Black people, they show the love platinum rings, platinum chains, platinum rims. And then Joe Biden with the Lift Every Voice. Really? Really? Why couldn't you just say Black America's plan or Black Americans agenda? Why the Lift Every Voice plan? Innovation for the future, everybody. America's first foreign policy, everybody. Defend American values, everybody. Moving right along. Now, this is a contract with Black America that Ice Cube made specifically for Black Americans. Now, there's one word in here and one of these tangible things that we need to eradicate. We need to strike through. And it's the word minority. But he only used it once. But nonetheless, we don't have nothing for ourselves. So that's why this is so important. Bank lending will be regulated to require banks to lend a percentage of all loan. See, this is action words. Bank lending will, not probably, not on a case-by-case basis, not if we don't have the money, they will regulate to require banks to lend a percentage of all loan and credit categories on equal basis to the Black population each bank serves. To the Black population, not the minority population, not the people of color and women population, but to the Black population. However, the minimum threshold must yearly meet the percentage equal to the national Black population, which is at 13.4%. Rates on Black loans federally and from banks to be same average rates as white. Okay. Now we're talking about tangibles here. Federal funding of baby bonds. Passed federal program providing each child with a government-funded trust account at birth starting with $1,000 contribution. As proposed by Senator Booker and Representative Presley, accounts to be managed by the Treasury and only those born into lower wealth families would receive more contribution up to $46,500 total. At age 18, access to the funds allowed but used restricted to access enhancing actions such as buying homes, starting businesses, and funding education. I didn't see the word minority nor people of color. I didn't see it. Did you? I didn't see it. You're looking at it with me. I didn't see it. Maybe I need to blow it up some. I didn't see it. Because this is an actual plan for Black America. Now, with the exception of one word. Okay, I blew it up too much. Give me a second, guys. My computer acting weird again. Federal Reserve and government pensions for qualified Black Americans. Federal Reserve to allow a one-time interest-free loan for home ownership. If you are not a homeowner, I need for you to listen to this. This is very important because this is what you call tangibles in a sense of a no interest loan. That is very tangible because a lot of us are now walking around with $350,000, even though the $14 trillion that was made up from our ancestors in slavery, we should be paid, but nonetheless, we're borrowing money that we don't have to pay interest on. Let me read it again. For qualified Black Americans, Federal Reserve to allow a one-time interest-free loan for home ownership. Interest-free. Interest-free. The Feds to ensure banks and institutions it oversees comply with bank lending reform. The Feds will oversee these private banks of the lending reform. Feds to adopt modern monetary theory with goal of full employment and avoidance of actual inflation. Federal and state pension funds control over $1 trillion. They must allocate. See, they control over $1 trillion. They must allocate 13.4% of their investments into Black-owned enterprises and businesses. Did anyone see minority businesses in there? Can y'all read out? My eyes hurt. Did anyone see minority or people of color? No, you didn't see it because you saw Black-owned enterprises. This is a real contract with Black America. I agree with it around 85, 90%. There's some things, any plan can be better. Let's just put it that way. But I'm behind Ice Cube with this contract 100%. But when it comes to the plan, it's 85 to 90% there, but it's better than anything we've seen in a very long time, with the exception of something that Dr. Claude Anderson put out, with the exception of that. People keep talking about the Congressional Black Caucus. They putting up all these legislations inside the House, and no one's seen them. If you want to do stuff for Black people and you want us to support it, make it public like Ice Cube did. Not only did he throw it on his own website, he came out and he's talking to everybody. Ice Cube, open invitation, brother. I would love for you to come on my show and we can talk about this great plan that you put in place so you can explain to people that you're not for the Republicans and that you're not for the Democrats. I know where you're coming from and you have a platform right here anytime you want. Just reach out to me. My email's in the description. Let me continue. Federal and state pension funds control over $1 trillion. They must allocate 13.4% of their investments into Black-owned enterprises and businesses. Venture capital and private equity funds that take money public entities must invest 13.4% of their total funds in Black-owned businesses. Access to capital, free interest loan. Now, if any of you guys are not inspired about entrepreneurship, of owning your own business, then let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. You should all be excited and supporting that one particular thing if you don't have a house. If you don't have a house, because what if this gets planned? What if this bill actually get passed? What if this contract is actually signed into law? And you right now inside of your home, they're going to wipe away your interest. You're not going to pay any interest on a loan that you have to pay back. How cheaper will your loan be if you didn't pay interest? How quicker would you pay off your home? Can I interest you guys in something? For most Black Americans who own homes, who are still paying a mortgage, if they pass this into law and they wipe away interest-free, you pay no longer interest, I guarantee most of you are going to knock off anywhere between 5 to 10 on the amount and the length that you have to pay on your loan. You're going to knock 10 years off of your loan. When you buy a house at $400,000, did you guys know that you're paying almost $76,000 to $80,000 in interest? In interest, you're paying almost $80,000. So if this doesn't interest you, maybe you want to lift every voice and Include everybody else plan. Lift every voice and include everybody else with the Hispanics and Asians. I mean, everybody. Everybody, come on. Black people, we're going to do it. You know what, black people, we're going to do it for everybody. That's right. That's right. Come along and ride on this fantastic voyage. Oh, yeah, we always fight for, we're in the streets. We get beat up. We get killed. We get locked up. And then we ask for tangibles. Oh, you want to give it to everybody. Oh, okay. But quite frankly, we understand that the Democrats pander a lot harder to the black community than the Republicans. So that's why you will see a lot of foundational black Americans coming on their platforms going hard at the Democrats, because they come to us with side talk. They come to us with nothing bags. They talk a lot, but they talk no tangibles. They're talking about, oh, well, yeah, Ice Cube, you know what? We're going to look at that plan after the election, because even we're gonna look at that plan after the election. That's what we're going to do. We're going to look at that plan after the election. We can probably add a little bit inside of our lift every voice plan. Okay. Now, some of you might have something to say, and I'm just going to open it up for you guys right there in the chat. If you want to click that link, if you have anything that you want to add, feel free. I'm just scrolling through everybody else. I mean, I see everybody else getting theirs. I do. Ladies and gentlemen, I see everybody else getting theirs. LGBTQ, they get their equality. The Catholic community, they get theirs. Plan for tribal nations. Well, I mean, let's see the Native Americans. Let's see if maybe the Native Americans got the word black or people of color. Let me see. People of color. You got it in here? Oh, there it is. Invest in Native small businesses, as President Biden will launch a historic effort to empower and create Native-owned small businesses and business owned by other people of color. Oh, okay. You got it in here twice. Let's look at this. Increase access to capital for Native-owned businesses. So he got the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans all fighting for the same resources. But the Native Americans, they got reservations. They got tax-free products on their land. They got free housing. Now, some Native Americans always argue about this, but I know many of tribes in Washington State, they don't pay rent. They get a house and they also get a stipend. So just stop it, okay? I have nothing against my Native American, Aborigine, foundational Black Americans, or Native Americans who don't associate themselves with African Americans, okay? So I don't have nothing against, I'm just telling you the truth. But we see that in the Latino plan. We've seen that in the Tribal Nations plan. But we understand that Hispanics are not white unless they're essentially from Spain. But you do have some white-colored Mexicans, but they're still Mexican because they're mixed. So they're not European. Okay. So you got the word black and you got the word, you got the word black. You got people of color inside of there. Okay, cool. But we got Jewish here. Okay. There's not too many black Jewish people. But let's see if he spreads their reparations and access to capital and wealth. Then let me just do a Control F here. People of color. Do we have people of color? People of color. Do we have people of color for 1,000? 0 people of color. Okay. We don't have people of color. People on both sides. Then what about minority? Minority. Oh, here we go. I think we got something here, guys. Since Trump took office, the United States have experienced a historic increase in the hate crimes and violence against targeting Jewish Americans and other minorities community. Oh, a nothing burger. He just explaining the problem, but there is no tangibles. There's no tangible when it comes to us. Biden helped shape the unprecedented $38 billion 10-year memorandum of understanding for the events sensitive to Israel signed in 2020. Oh, we're giving $38 billion to Israel. Okay, that's cool. Wait a minute. Are you going to give African Americans who? Okay, I'm just. I'm looking at it with you guys. We're all just looking at it together. We're just looking at it together. We're just scrolling through the plan. Oh, here we go. A Biden administration will. Oh, healthcare for Jews, climate change, immigration, equity. Okay, so the word black, people of color, minority was not in the Jewish one. Huh. The Jewish community is mostly what? Oh, okay. And believe me, just because I'm calling out the facts, don't be like, he's anti-Semitic, he's an anti-Semite. I have nothing against Jewish people. I don't know why they beat up people when we simply mention the word Jews or Jewish. People need to start using this brain. Like, I'm going to get off of it. I'm not going to even get into the Muslim thing. I'm not going to just, let's go to the Catholic thing. Let's see if what are you doing with the Catholics? Okay, let's control F it. Minority. Let's see. Minority. Nothing. People of color. Nothing. Black. Nothing. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Now, let me show you this before I get out of here. Let me show you this. I'm going to go back up to this, the Lift Every Voice, the Biden plan for Black America. Okay. So, again, I want to highlight something really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Can I highlight Black America? Can I highlight Black America? So this plan, like he got the Latino agenda, he got the Jewish agenda, he got the tribal nation agenda, he got the Indian American agenda. You see how he's catering to these other people, but then he caters to the Black community. But as I went through theirs, I looked up certain words, right? We didn't see minority, all right? We didn't see minority because the word Indian and Asian was all through that. The words Indian and Asian was all through that. That's for them. That's for them. So the words Black, people of color, and minority was not in that. But we do need to understand that people of color and minority includes Asians, Indians, Native Americans, Hispanics. We understand that, right? And all other immigrants, because they're minorities. So if a brother or sister from the Caribbean or from the continent of Africa, if they put other, if they don't put like Black or African American, they put other, which most of them do, they are also considered a person of color or minority. But let's see, because this Lift Every Voice plan, the Biden plan for Black America should just highlight African Americans / Foundation of Black Americans. Let's see. Black America. Okay, I don't want to highlight that. Let's look up the word. Let's look up the word minority. Let's see if that's in there. Oh, the word minority is in here 19 times. What? 19 times, ladies and gentlemen. You see this? It's like Christmas. All the lights are boop, 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 boop. Minority all over the place, right? Minority all over the place. You start talking about tangibles, and this is the plan for Black America. Are we Black or are we a minority? Which one is it? Because if I go back up here, you say African American. You say African American. And then when I come down here, you say minority. Oop, wait a minute. What happened to the language? Oops. Did they misspeak 19 times? I doubt it. Oh my God. Let's see. Increase funding for minorities. This is the Black American plan, ladies and gentlemen. It's so crazy. And you mofos gonna go out there and vote for people who ain't offering us nothing. This is what they do. So that's the whole thing about this video. You rather take $1 than $100 tomorrow. What am I talking about when I say that? I waited this long to say this. If we as a people actually unite and we demand tangibles, this, as you see, he gives to every other group, you will see that eventually they'll get tired of losing. We may not get it this term, But I promise you, we'll be real close of getting the bag next time. See, right now, all of this is a number. It's not even worth $1. Everything they're talking about, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, they're talking about nothing. It's like worth less than $1. But I assure you, if we unite and hold our strength, we will get the bag, and we will get tangibles, we will get access, we will get revenue, and we will get money. That's how powerful your vote is. And I'm showing you how they pander to you but never talk to you. They pander you and say African-American businesses need it the most. African-American businesses need it the most. But then it says, largely left out, minority-owned businesses. Then they said 90% of people of color. See, when we just looked at the Indian and we looked at the Jewish, did y'all see any of these words? Did y'all see minority? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Then it says here, the second phase set aside $60 billion for the community banks and CDFIs, as well as mid-sized banks, which can serve smaller businesses and minority, again, owned. Then here we go, provide African-American entrepreneurs and other small businesses technical assistance. Then we get down to the tangibles, giving 90% of all minority and women-owned businesses. And again, why would they separate minority and women? Minority is not a masculine word. Minority is bisexual, okay? It's male and female. Why do you think they adding women? Because they're talking about white women. So again, resources are being dispersed. Resources are being diminished by this language. But the Indian and the Jewish one did not have this. Produce a weekly dashboard to show which businesses are accessing loans. Minority and women-owned businesses. Lift every voice plan, huh? And I'm just minorities all over the place, but this is the Lift Every Voice plan for Black America. Let's see how many times people of color in here. People, did I spell this right? Okay. People of color. I spelled people wrong. Let's see. People of color is in here eight times. So you got minorities in here 19 times, and you got people of color here 8 times. So that's 27 times where he's not talking to African Americans, but he's not talking to Black America, but this is the Lift Every Voice plan for Black America. $30 billion of private sector investment to small businesses, especially those owned by women and people of color. People do include women, right? People do include women. So why would he separately say women and people of color? He's talking about white women. Because people of color, again, Hispanic, Indian, Asian, Native American, Hispanic. People of color. Let's move along. People of color. This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. So this is why you see a lot of foundational Black Americans going ham on the Democrats, because we already understand that the Republicans ain't offering us nothing. The platinum plan, I went through that too. I showed you on Donald Trump. Donald Trump don't even have the platinum plan on his main page. He don't even have the platinum. You might have to go to another link to get the platinum plan. Okay. He don't got the platinum plan here. There's no platinum plan. Ain't no platinum plan. He's speaking to his base. Ain't no platinum plan on his page. You got to go search for that separately. But again, the Democrats pander for our vote every term, and they win our vote. They win our vote every single term. They win our vote every single term. Let me put the link up in the chat room, guys, in case you want to join me here and you have any comments. Anything that you want to add. Let me see who's in the room today. We got Jermaine down the street. We got Lady Issa. Nice to see you guys here. Let's see what else we have. We got Delroy Grayson. Jermaine down the street says, no, most of these groups either lobby large amounts as a collective or have multi-million-dollar entities attached to their culture. Our communities, over middle class, not making excuses. Current national contributions, the jargon they use as an excuse to leave us out. 1,000%. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have. I went through it by myself for you guys, and I just want to highlight some things for you because to me it's either $1 today or $100 tomorrow. And what that should tell you is I'm talking about playing the long game. It's an analogy, it's a metaphor. I'm talking about playing the long game. I'm not telling anyone not to vote. I am simply telling you, in order for Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, to get something in this country, we have to show them that we're serious. And don't let those boule people on TV that look like you and me with dark skin color pander to you about how great Joe Biden is and how bad Donald Trump is. Both of their race records, both of their discrimination records are the same. They both have discriminated against Black people. They also have been racist against Black people. And if some of you think that Donald Trump came in and it started making a lot of these MAGA hat wearing people racist, well, let me inform you, they were racist before Donald Trump. It's not like Donald Trump came in here, he said, you know what? You're racist. You're racist. You're racist. Like he was just nominating and just telling people they're racist. And I'm a racist now. I hate Black people. No, they always have been racist. The only thing, they probably got a little more bold, which I am glad, because if you notice, when them Karens are on TV, a lot of those Karens and Brads, when they're acting out of pocket, they're getting fired from their job. You should want overt racism. You should want racism right in your face. That's where you should want it. You don't want nobody to hide their colors, because we've been enduring that for way too long, where people smile in our face and always trying to take our place. They smile in your face. You know they do. Always trying to take your place. The backstabbers. You know I'm telling the truth. That's why I like racism. You want to call me a nigger, then go ahead, call me right here. I'm videotaping, recording everything. Now your ass homeless. Now your ass jobless. But see, when they keep their racism under wraps under Obama or Biden administration, then you just, oh no, we just got to let you go. We're doing cutbacks. Then next you know they're hiring 100 people and you wonder why you got laid off. To me, it doesn't matter what political party. Both of them are equally trash until they offer something to foundational Black Americans solely. That's just my opinion. Agree with it, disagree with it. At this point, I'm just trying to inform you guys. So if you do go and vote, you know exactly what you're voting for. If you vote for Joe Biden, you're voting for the mass incarceration of majority of Black men and women with the 1986 drug bill and the 1994 crime bill. And you need to know his history on discriminating against the bus system, where he didn't want his kids to ride the bus with Black kids. If you vote for Donald Trump, then you're voting for another 4 years or whatever we're getting. If you did great in business, then that's what you're going to do. But also you're voting for his discrimination in the housing, where him and his father didn't allow Black people and other minorities to rent from them, or him exclusively trying to call out the death penalty for the Central Park Five and never really apologizing for it, or the birther with him and Barack Obama never apologized for it. Very defamatory and racist and discriminated talk. But nonetheless, both of their track records look the same to me. Platinum plan, lift every voice plan. But when I look at everybody else's plan, you don't use the word minority or people of color. Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. And if your cheap broke ass want to get the dollar today, go vote. But for me and the foundational Black Americans I know that are B1, we're waiting. I'm out.